Hey gang, welcome. In this video, we're going to take a look at 7 steps that I use to self-educate. Regardless of what the topic is, this will work in getting you started in the right direction. Step number 1 is set a goal and stick to it. Minimize distractions. Close any unnecessary apps that are on your desktop and start a new web browser so that you can hide anything that's irrelevant, too personal, or not safe for work. The end. This is not the end. But that's what you have to focus on. Start with the end in mind, and then continue with what we're going to talk about now. Next, conduct a generic search. Google. I am floored at the number of people who refuse to just simply Google something. Or they don't want to. Don't have your policy dictate the intelligence. Intelligence, information, dictates policy. Next, move to various industry leaders. My friend David Beckmeyer is doing a podcast about anger in public, in society, in social media, in the media. He's now a member of the Connors Institute at Shippensburg University. If you're doing something similar, that would be a good place to start. Also, when I have a new news source that I'm not really sure of, I go to Ad Fontes Media. Another shout out to our friend Jennifer Furlong. Ad Fontes Media studies and evaluates the bias of news agencies, news journalists, and individual news stories, so that when you read it, you have an idea where that particular source is coming from and where they fall on the political spectrum. Lastly, if you're a content creator just like me, find out your local college or university and go to their school of journalism. Maybe not become a student, but they probably have some day courses or night courses that are just a certification or something fun, or they have a website that tells you some of the information that you're looking for. Next in your generic search is something called Humint. This is not an ice cream, and it's not a flavor of candy. Humint is human intelligence. Yes, spies. But more importantly, just human intelligence. Go to those industry leaders and find out if there's somebody who is more specific to what you're looking for. And then conduct interviews, have conversations, and try to develop the relationship so maybe you can come back again later. Finally, once you take that generic information, backtest, or as we say in the intelligence community, test. Is that information the same as the other sources that you've got? Maybe some of those other sources are already more proven and therefore more reliable. Now this new source can work its way to being just as reliable if you keep getting valuable information from it. Next up is a more focused study. Websites. You went to the Connors Institute. You went to a school of journalism. You went to some big umbrella apparatus. Where did they send you next? One of those places may be a particular website. Also, PDF docs. Go back to Google and do a search of PDF docs that has something that is relevant to what you're looking for. How do you do that? What you do is you go to my podcast, Up the Middle, and find the episode where I talk about fact-checking. I also teach how to search just for PDF docs in Google. Lastly, additional interviews. These are more specific than the generic interviews you conducted before. This may be in conjunction with that generic interview if you found the right person, or go to the person they may have steered you to. Next up is Collate. Take all of the information you've got and put it in order. Are you telling a story? If so, you must develop a timeline, a start and a finish. Are you dictating a process? Again, a timeline that has a start and a finish. But are you developing a skill set? Something with beginner, intermediate, and expert. If you're a beginner and you've got information about an intermediate or expert level, you don't need that right now. But you do need it. So hold on to it and be ready to use it later. Next up, build. One of the industry experts that I follow is a company called Think Media. Sean Cannell from Think Media says, you just got to press record. If you're making a project, if you're putting together content for YouTube or an episode of your podcast, put it together, do your edits, and put it out there. Because next, you're going to evaluate. And you have to ask yourself the question, how bad does it suck? It sucks. Don't argue. It sucks. But what you need to know is how bad does it suck? And most importantly, does it suck less than the video you did last week? Also, take a look at the number of subscribers or followers or fans, whatever it's called, that you have for your project. If that's not as big, don't worry about that. That will come later. Look at the number of plays. The algorithms today often will send you a video similar to the video you've already watched, especially if you had a long watch time in that video or a long listen time in the play or stream. So you don't have to subscribe. You're going to get the video or the episode anyway. I would still subscribe, so it's more easily, in case you've missed something, you'll get the notification that information is available. Next, get opinions. Especially if you're creating content, get opinions from your fans, from your listeners, from whoever it is that's following you and enjoying or not enjoying what you're putting out. Also, go back. Remember we said to develop relationships? Go back and talk to those industry experts. Show them, here's what I've done. Here's what I've learned. Where can I go next? Where should I go next? Where must I go next? And finally, family and friends. They ain't gonna lie to you. Always have humility. Thank people. Realize you sucked. Or realize you weren't as good as what you thought you were. Everything can always be better. And finally, repeat. That's it. Repeat. Why? Because of those algorithms, they also are judging you and how frequently you put content out. Is it a rhythm? Is it consistent? That's one of the things they're going to see and judge just how serious you are. If you have any questions, I know this was kind of fast and could be much longer, but I'm happy to help you with that. If you have any questions on how I taught myself day trading, content creation, how to deal with a dog that's got a disability, how to take care of your jet skis, how to become a foster father and turn that into being an adoptive father, plenty of things that I've self-taught myself. Plenty of topics on which I self-taught. I've learned quite a bit, and this method was a huge help. Email me and my team, news@Yergz.com. Or you can call us, 1-888-88-YERGZ. Or just go to the website, Yergz.com. If you can stand any more of me, you can join me and Jane Stahl, one of my high school English teachers, for our podcast, Both Sides Now, released 2 times per week. She's also the host of the Be Inspired podcast. And I'm also the host, 5 days a week, Yergz Tonight, available at yergz.com and yergzradio.com on Yergz Radio. And lastly, 2 times a week, I host Up the Middle, a politically oriented podcast that, like Yergz Tonight, is equally biased and equally offensive. See you there. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for putting up with us. Thanks again.